Walter Suarez.
And today, the first news that I'm going to be talking about would be the energy crisis. Currently, we are facing a world energy crisis due to the fact that most of the world runs on oil. And based off of Hubbard's curve that will be showing up momentarily, that shows the amount of oil we currently are producing per year and the amount of production that we have left. As we can see, the curve is right now at the dotted lines over here, and we are slowly declining on the amount of possible oil that we can drill and collect. There are several different indications of that based off of Hubbard's paper that he wrote, where you would see gas prices fluctuating from going up really high and then dropping back down due to the fact that once it hits a certain threshold at the price, no one can actually afford it, so they have to drop it down, and that's why the gas prices have been currently fluctuating. And another example is in the Middle East, a lot of those countries are trying to switch over to nuclear power due to the fact that their major export item is actually oil, and they rather not be using their export item to power their own cities and countries just because they could sell more and get more money off of it. So that's why most of those countries were trying to switch over to nuclear power. And who would better know the amount of oil is left in the world than the top producing countries? Some of the alternatives that have been put up are hydroelectric, windmills, and solar panels. But research indicates that most of these alternatives aren't necessarily alternatives due to the fact that they run on gears, turbines, and also the solar panel energy cells are high cost in energy to produce, and the amount of energy they collect and produce is barely enough to either create the parts for it, and there won't be any leftover energy to actually spend on the population, or the fact that it's not going to be able to produce the parts at all. And our future looks pretty grim if we don't find an alternate solution. And there has been discussion about using nuclear power to actually try and support and advance in these types of technology for a while. But the main issue with that is what other smaller countries and developing countries do. And also these factories, nuclear power plants, will probably be targeted by terrorists, and the countries that don't really have that great of a defense might have some issues defending them and might cause radioactive leakage. And there's pretty much a lot of other issues with that because of the fact that the fuel rod that they use, there's no way to actually get rid of it. As we've seen in Japan, the earthquake, well actually a few years back when the tsunami hit, the fuel rods were the main cause of the radioaction in Fukushima, and not really the nuclear reactors themselves, because of the fact that the tsunami actually crushed and destroyed those facilities that the spent fuel rods were put in, and the fact that because of that being damaged, the radioactive materials leaked out into the water and started contaminating everything, and that's the main reason why Fukushima was considered one of the major accidents. There hasn't technically been any other accidents, but who knows? The United States might be another country, just like France, that's switching over to nuclear power, since France is currently running 70% on nuclear energy and only 30% on alternative resources such as oil.
We interrupt your boring hippie news for something really exciting. Breaking news, everyone, and this concerns all of you. Recently at NJIT, there have been about phishing emails that have been sent from a strange source claiming to be the Bursar's office, but this is not the case. In fact, we believe that these emails were actually sent by an anonymous third party trying to gain access to to some students' credit card information. The Bursar would like to remind all of you that They never store your credit card information, never ever. And they will never send emails like this to request it from you. They will always, if anything like this happens, they will always go through the normal channels, the student services, things of that nature. It will never happen through email. So, many of you probably got this email last night. And it's actually, if you can kind of see it, it says it claims to be the office of the Bursar, but the actual email domain is unknown. The Bursar office believes that this email was spoofed through a student email, but there also have been a couple of, it's kind of, they don't really know which student email. Actually, they've gotten reports that it might be more than one. So these emails could be coming from multiple sources. However, we do believe that this is a coordinated, sophisticated attack. Because look, it looks just like the real thing. It even uses the NJIT logo and all, like it lists phone numbers and everything like that. Like, it's very professional looking, and this is how they get you. They make you think that, you know, this is, oh, it all looks on the up and up, right? You know, it says it's from Bursar too. It's not. You have to be very careful about these sorts of things. NJIT, in any capacity, will never ask for your credit card information via email. It's never going to happen, all right? So, if you have this email, delete it. Just ignore it. It's not real. If you've responded to this email, then that's bad. What you have to do is you're probably going to have to go to your bank and cancel the credit card information that you entered. Cancel it immediately. The sooner the better. What these people like to do is that they like to gather a lot of credit card information. They like to go across a country or a state border, someplace where the authorities can't find them, and just take out a bunch of payday loans or anything like that. Advances in your name, or even worse, they see if they can get away with compromising your bank account information based on, just having your credit card. And they can get so much off of just this little information. So it's not even necessarily that, they didn't take your credit card and spend it on a bunch of stuff like, they're gonna, buy a car with your credit card or something crazy like that. No, that's not even it. The problem is that they can use bits of your identity to further compromise your identity. And that's why emails like this are so dangerous, because once you lose control of your identity, it can take forever to get it back. And if these people get control of your identity, they can do things like take out loans in your name, which will destroy your credit rating, and that can take years to fix, and that can take years to build back up. And the worst part is, a lot of these people will never be caught for this, because the NJIT, they know like what domains these emails are coming from, but they have no idea who's actually doing it. It could be from anyone, and it was probably just earlier in the year. There were other phishing emails sent out that were trying to get student login information. This is probably part of that, because what they did is they probably got some idiot responded to it, gave them login information, and then they used those domains to set up these and have them coming from multiple directions. So it's not just one domain; it's a bunch. And you get these sort of layered attack strategies these days. So you have to be very careful with this sort of thing, because it just takes one mistake, and it can really hurt. You can really be hurting for the next year, 2 years, even 5 years. It can take ages to resolve these problems. So you have to be very careful. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before doing the next segment, I would like to do the weather first. However, because now we're living in an era of smartphones, please just take out your phone and look at the weather. Now, in other news, aliens visiting Earth. Let's go to aliens visiting Earth. Well, as you saw before, there was just a video taken by, just a cell phone by a kid in India. Pretty much described that he was encountering a UFO. However, there was actually no information that was actually going to be reliable of the kid. The authorities haven't said anything so far, but the video has been gone through the internet like a virus, so it became viral. And now they're starting to start new beliefs about are we really alone in this world now? And now that I mentioned that, we're going to go to the next segment, which is the mermaids have been encountered. They're quite weird that actually a lot of encounters today. So this is actually a footage that has been actually discussed by the Discovery Channel, where there has been two people that spotted. So yes, that's the video, and this video was supposedly filmed in Greenland. As I said before, the Discovery Channel has actually made a documentary about the whole thing, and they will start discussing about the water ape, or A equals ape, which will be actually something similar as like the ape that we usually know and that will usually change. Instead of just walking in 2 feet, is to just develop some flames and start swimming. Anyways, now more important news. Those are the images that an artist actually developed after seeing the video, which are actually quite very impressive. They're really realistic, but they have been proved that they're just scams. Those are no real mermaids, especially because most of the material that has been used there is just plastic, and it was determined by the specialist. Now, something really interesting about the new technology that has come into the world: artificial land. The picture that you see right there is actually called a Palm Island, and it's actually was developed in Dubai, and this is kind of like how a global picture. It looks like it's not fake. Everything is real. They started developing the project in 2003 and they finished in 2012. Of course, even though it can be like amazing to see it, the area that was covered for the houses was not that big. As you can see, it can just withhold 2 rows of houses, a parking deck, and maybe just the beach. Thank you.